I'm like, okay, unless you're a genius and crazy talented, you're just going to have to work your ass off. And then when they use words like balance, I'm like, come on. Now, having said that, some people don't want to live to work. They want to work to live. That's fine. God love you. Some people say, and I get these people on my podcast, Scott, or they call in, I just want to be a good citizen, work a decent amount, have a good relationship with my spouse and coach Little League and have a nice life and be an active member of my church. I'm like, great, you can do that in America. That's not going to work in LA or New York, or, I mean, you got to move to a lower cost neighborhood. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of really happy people. You know, the average household income now is 68 or 70 grand. And I bet a lot of those households are very happy. They find strength and reward other places. That's absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that. The majority of the young people I speak to expect to be making a lot of money. Or they say, you know, I don't need to make a ton of money. I just want to live in New York, have a nice place, be able to have a couple kids. I'm like, okay, that's $1 million a year. I'm not talking about the way the world should be. I'm talking about the way the world is. And if you expect to live in an American city and be able to send your kids, you know, ensure you can absorb a health shock, give your kids the kind of life you want, take nice vacations, it's just a lot of money. The reality is it's just a crazy amount of money. And you can control, you want to lower your burn, move to a place with lower cost of housing, lower cost of living, more power to you. But the majority of the people I know in their 20s and 30s, and again, this is proximity bias because the people I hang out with, expect to have a lot of influence and a lot of economic security. And we all know that guy or gal who is in great shape, great relationship with their parents, it just seems to rain money on them, is fit, has a food blog and donates time at the ASPCA. Assume you are not that person, right? Assume that you probably have to go all in on something if you want to. I mean, LA, living in New York, you're just going to have to be relatively successful to stay here. You don't have a birthright to live in Los Angeles or New York or London. And again, it comes back to that sober conversation. Are you really willing to make the trade-offs? If not, you can be happy in Lubbock, Texas. Most people can. And maybe you should be thinking about that. But people who expect to have a reasonable life